Thor here, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about my house. To start out with, she is a Bayliner Victoria. Boats like this were very popular in the 70s. They worked great for weekend boating. You could take the fam damily out, and they worked good for tubing and water sports. Today, however, they have fallen out of style. Not to say cabin cruisers are not a thing anymore, just not that many people want a small cabin cruiser. I've tried to find factory information about my boat, but this is the only information I could find. A bit confusing since it does not match up with any of the paperwork I have or any of my experience in dealing with this boat. The top speed for this boat is supposed to be about 39 miles per hour. However, mine only goes about 22 miles per hour. This is mostly because of the bad carburetor I have on it. The fuel mileage at cruising speed of about 25 miles per hour is around 3 miles to the gallon, which in my opinion is great for a 6,000 plus pound boat. I'm not sure what the fuel mileage is for mine, but I've always felt it was extremely good. Restoration was a lot of work. When I first purchased the boat, she was in very bad shape. I found her on Facebook. She was listed for around $5,000. I asked the owner what the bare minimum he would take for her, and he said $3,800. I agreed to purchase the boat provided it passed a test run. The next day we met for the test run. The previous owner was extremely late to meet me at the dock and brought the boat with dead batteries. My jaw dropped when I saw him jumpstart the boat with another car while it was sitting on the trailer, out of the water, which is extremely bad for a boat's engine. He dropped it in the water, and as soon as he went to go park his truck, the engine died. To remedy this, he drove his lifted truck into the water next to the boat and jump-started it again, at which point it ran for a couple of minutes and died. This happened a few times until I discovered that the boat engine was suffocating itself on its own exhaust, and that the exhaust hose had a huge hole in it, and the boat was basically flooding. Once we managed to get the engine running, we drove the boat out of the harbor, and this guy was so crazy, the very first thing he did was wide open throttle, full left and full right. On a narrow, tall cruiser like this one, that is terrifying, as the boat handles more like a ship and leans out, not in when it turns too sharp. I told him I did not like this at all, and to go back. Once back at the docks, I hopped off the boat and was done, but the owner walked over to me and said, "Would you do $2,200 for it?" At that point, I couldn't say no. Aside from the crazy driving, the boat was exactly what I was looking for. I wanted a big boat that could handle the waves these crazy surf boats make. It fit the bill, so the next day I met up with him, purchased the boat, and took her home. It was obvious when I purchased the boat she was not water-worthy. So she went into the barn and I fixed most of the major problem. Exhaust, water pump, and a very rotten bellows with holes in it were all replaced. After that, we enjoyed the boat for most of the season. But her looks were starting to really bother me and my family, so me and my father restored her. He helped me sand and remove the old paint and put on new paint. She went from tie-dye to white and gray, a moderate color mix for a boat. I spent 2 days polishing her decks and cabin, but even to this day I have done nothing with her hull. To me, the hull is a working surface and doesn't need to be pretty for a boat to look good. But I will eventually polish the hull and make it look nice too. We played with her a little bit more that season, but there was not a lot of boating left for that season. After that, I put her in the barn and decided she was perfect for me to live in. So again, me and my father got busy. He did all the cutting and measuring. I did all the design, finish, and installation. Of course, we helped each other throughout the whole process. It took me about 3 months before I moved in, but time was in short supply, so I was not able to finish everything I needed to do. The property had sold, and we had to move to Utah. I up and sold everything I owned except for my boat and truck and paid off all my debt. No longer am I a slave to the banks. From there, the rest is history. You can look up on my YouTube channel. Moving forward, I plan to continue to restore my boat and make YouTube videos for everyone to enjoy. I still have a lot of work ahead of me, but I feel like I'm probably halfway there when it comes down to my boat. I have no plans on selling my boat in the future, as she is extremely affordable and not a huge burden for me to take care of. My immediate plan for the moment is to get a slip and a runabout boat to tow behind this one. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I will be doing a tour of my boat's interior next. In the meantime, this is Thor, signing out.